It's probably one of the most overblown events in World Cup history.
On March 18, 2003, Adam Gilchrist walked, having gloved a sweep shot. He walked despite umpire Rudy Koetzen visibly leaning towards a not-out decision. He walked in a World Cup semi-final. He walked and reignited one of the age-old debates in cricket, to walk or not to walk.
If you want to walk, that's fine, that's your business, but you've got to be consistent with it. And I really get pissed off when people talk about the walkers, the non-walkers, as though they're cheats.
Even at school level, I was a guy who would walk before the umpire even given out. If I've nicked, I know if the guy's taken a clean catch, and to date I've done that. But to do that at that level in a World Cup semi-final, that was something special, and there's a lot of respect for Gilly.
Just to refresh memories, here's what happened. De Silva bowled one over the wicket. Gilchrist went for a sweep. The ball ballooned to Kumar Sangakkara. The Lankans went up in appeal. Koetzen's hand stayed in his pocket, but Gilchrist had already started walking back to the pavilion.
I mean, it was a sweep, so it's tough for umpires to see. There would have been a couple of impacts, but for Gilly to do that was something special.
And we see Gilchrist, from what we thought, start to walk, wait for the umpire, and then decide, well, I've already decided I've got to walk now. So what I'm going to say is this: I don't think it was a real walk. I think it was an accidental walk that he then decided he had to do for a moral reason. I don't remember Gilchrist particularly walking that much before then, and there's no, I've been to YouTube a lot, there's not an amazing amount of evidence that says he walks a lot.
So are cricketers morally obliged to walk when they're out, or is it the job of the umpires to get decisions right?
Yeah, to me a walker is somebody who does it, they make a stand for whatever reason, and they do it at the start of their career, and they decide, I'm going to be a walker, and they do it all the way through. The reason I say that you've got to do it at the start of it, you've got to do it through good and bad. Yeah, and it's easier to walk late in your career when your career is established and you're not going to lose your spot. But to me, a real walker is somebody who does it from day one. And when he could, by walking, he could lose his place in the team. That's, to me, that's a true walker.
I must confess that I still belong to the old school. I feel that if you've got a touch, if you've got an edge, you walk. But I must tell you that my vehemence of that belief has diminished considerably, because I found that there are too many matches being played, there's too much at stake. There's too much at stake, not just in terms of fame or in terms of average or runs made, but in terms of livelihood. And therefore, you have to perhaps rationalize it and say there are certain constructs within the sport. There are umpires to give decisions, and is it not better off to abide by the decision of the umpires rather than show bravado one way or the other?
For Jayawardena, this is not a grey area, even though he sees the other side of the argument.
It's a decision that you need to make yourself. And a lot of the guys feel that, okay, the umpires do make mistakes and you're given out when you're not out as well. And you know that's a job for the umpires to make. But for me, it's just the guilt. You know, when you're out, you're out.
And while the debate raged on, there was at least one party left with egg on their faces.
What was funny though is South Africans were running an ad campaign which was all about how Australians did walk all the way through that World Cup, and they had to continue to play it even as Gilchrist hadn't walked. So they, the ad company looked like idiots. Australia still won easily, so it really wasn't that big a deal, except for Gilchrist and his teammates.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.